So we're in the greenhouse today, and we're looking at the seedlings that I just planted of lettuce. As you can see, they're very small still, but they've actually started to grow a little bit. I planted these 2 days ago out here in the greenhouse. They were a little bit smaller. Some of them were. They were about that size when I first planted them, and now some of them have almost doubled in size since then. So the DWC here is, you know, it's a little dirty right now, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that, because as soon as they start growing again, it's going to get dirty again. So I just cleaned the top of the rafts off, and because of the air stones that are in this part of the raft system, they really cause a lot of algae growth on these bare rafts, but not a big deal. As soon as the plants grow a little bit, they'll actually, that algae will actually go away. So I haven't really had any issues with algae in this type of system, as opposed to when I was using these open trough, NFT troughs over here. These troughs actually have covers for them that go on top to block out the light, and there's only small holes. They're about 1-inch square holes that the horticubes, these 3/4-inch horticubes, actually drop down in beautifully, and they block all the light. So it does really good. As you can see, I'm rebuilding one of the NFT rafts or NFT trough system. I'm going to probably add one more, maybe two more, not quite sure. But right now I'm just slowly building this out. I'm going to change the way that I was setting this up. If you've looked at some of the other older videos, you'll see that I had spaghetti tubing at the end of all of these troughs, and that spaghetti tubing was just a little too small. I think it was like 1/8 spaghetti tubing. It's this tubing right here. And it's just a little too small for the dirty water that's coming through the system, because you get roots and leaves and stuff that ends up in the system, and it gets pushed through to all these troughs, and those little tubes would clog up. And once they clogged up, no water going through, the plant's not getting any nutrients, and no water, they dry up. Before I realize it, plants die. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm switching to a ball valve little setting. You can see I got some ball valves down here in my little scrap pile, but basically these little ball valves are going to be on the top 2 rows up here. So they'll actually be a coming from that pipe right there. I'm going to tee off of that, and we're going to come over here and tee up to this one, and then the other one that'll be on this side, and then we'll have a ball valve for each. And the ball valve will actually put the water into the top trough, and each of these troughs are angled just a little bit. So the top trough angles down to the right, and then the second trough, it's angling back to the left and back to the right and back to the left. And then this bottom one down here, if I can get to it right here, is going to actually go over into the drain pipe over there. So it's pretty simple little setup. Each one of these ends here is going to have a end cap that has a elbow, has an opening on it, has an elbow, and that elbow is going to come down and feed into this second one, and the water is going to go back that way, and then it's going to do the same, drop down, feed into this one, and the water is going to come back this way, and then the bottom one is going to go back and drain back into the system. So having just one section where the input water is coming in, and then just letting it gravity feed all the way down, is going to save a lot of time on the setup. And a little bit of money too, because those ball valves, you know, they're not cheap. But you know, I don't need 8 of them for this particular stand, because I'm only going to have 4 troughs on each side. So that's 8 troughs per stand. 8 times 15 is what? 120? I don't even know what it is. It's quite a bit, but it just adds a little bit more. And I'm going to actually grow probably butterhead and romaine in here in the stand NFT system. And that way I can harvest it and sell it and then replant rather quickly. And it'll get plenty of airflow, so we won't have any rotten leaves or anything, which typically happens in this system. It may not happen in your system, but I have, the holes are rather close, and it's really just for small leaf lettuces that I'm going to harvest and then, you know, cut 2 or 3 times before I take them out and put new plants in. So that's a little bit of the NFT system. Right now I'm just trying to fill it out. It's wintertime still, so not much is growing.